Witness the creation of a living masterpiece.
Venice was now the center of the world. It became rich beyond its wildest dreams.
And experience the struggle for survival.
Venice knew that art was its most powerful asset.
Francesco de Mosto's Venice continues next Saturday at 9:10 on BBC Two.
There's an insight into the history and culture of the city of Venice in this fully illustrated BBC book to accompany the series.
The most infamous theatre in the land. Lavish sets, thrilling plots, a cast of heroes and villains.
Here Guy Fawkes planted his gunpowder, a monarch was tried for his life, even a prime minister assassinated.
Dan Cruikshank explores one of the greatest political stages in the world, the Palace of Westminster.
A building that is, in a very special way, a people's palace.
Britain's best buildings, coming soon to BBC Two.
Politicians used to offer us dreams of a better future. Now they promise to protect us from nightmares.
Those evildoers.
And have stumbled on a way of restoring power and authority to governments. Yet just as their dreams weren't true, neither are the nightmares. In a major new series, we see how our climate of fear was created and why, who benefits, and how much of it is an illusion. The Power of Nightmares, Wednesday at 9 on BBC Two.
The smell of grease paint beckons bus conductor Albert Finney in A Man of No Importance at 12:05 tonight. First on BBC Two, it was a role made for Stephen Fry as he plays Oscar Wilde in Brian Gilbert's acclaimed film biography, which includes strong language.
Witness the creation of a living masterpiece.
Venice was now the center of the world. It became rich beyond its wildest dreams.
And experience the struggle for survival.
Venice knew that art was its most powerful asset.
Francesco de Mosto's Venice continues next Saturday at 9:10 on BBC Two.
What happened to separate us from them?
Islands apart.
The answer is the most dramatic thing ever to befall our country.
Join Alan Titchmarsh for British Isles, A Natural History, Wednesday at 9 on BBC One. He's climbing every mountain.
My lungs are already telling me we're pretty high.
I feel quite weary, and I know that along there is the path to Annapurna.
After the emptiness of the mountains, Kathmandu comes as quite a shock.
86.
I only hope I can get a leg over at 86.
Himalaya with Michael Palin continues tomorrow at 9 on BBC One.
Part one. Little Britain, a nation of one voice.
Any bridesmaids outfits for a short fat bloke?
A nation with one clear message.
Look, this is too unfair. Ain't on everybody nothing or nothing.
Ready to shout it from the rooftops.
Gay rights now.
Yeah, no? I believe in a little Britain, a united nation of comedy.
The brand new series starts Tuesday at 9 on BBC Three.
What the Ask not what 08700 101010 can do for you. Just call it to get Little Britain first.
Here on BBC Two now, the last of today's films celebrating the birth of Oscar Wilde. Set in 1960s Dublin, Albert Finney stars in A Man of No Importance.
Politicians used to offer us dreams of a better future. Now they promise to protect us from nightmares.
Those evildoers.
And have stumbled on a way of restoring power and authority to governments. Yet just as their dreams weren't true, neither are the nightmares. In a major new series, we see how our climate of fear was created and why, who benefits, and how much of it is an illusion. The Power of Nightmares, Wednesday at 9 on BBC Two.
Imagine the next 20 seconds are the last of your life. You might expect to think about your family. You might expect to think about your friends. You might even expect to meet God at the end of a tunnel. Unless, of course, you're Jonathan Miller.
Jonathan Miller's Brief History of Disbelief. Monday at 9:30 on BBC 4. To find out how you can get BBC 4 on cable and satellite services and Freeview, call 08700 10 10 10.
And you might find yourself in another part of the world.
And you may find yourself behind a wheel of a large automobile. And you may find yourself in a beautiful house
with a beautiful wife. And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
You might ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Find yourself in Silver Street, the new radio soap from BBC Asian Network on DAB Digital Radio.
I'm still so angry. When they phoned, I just went numb. I kept saying there must be some kind of mistake. It's not as if we live in the inner city. You just don't expect anything like this. I mean, what could he have done to deserve that?
More and more children all over Britain are carrying knives and using them. Panorama investigates. Tomorrow, 10:15, BBC One.
Now on BBC Two, we join BBC News 24.
Huge crisis, a huge time bomb. And as I say, the government's had their head in the sand for 7 years.
Well, over the next 20 years, the government wants to build 500,000 new homes in the east of England. Ministers say it'll provide a vital boost to the economy. Or will it instead devastate a region that's already overpopulated?
This is the area earmarked for development over the next 2 decades. Existing towns along the M11 corridor could expand and some greenbelt areas may disappear. The government wants